I used to love Instagram. Instagram was the place I would go to share my photos. I'm not a professional photographer by any means, but it was a place where I could go to find awesome photographers doing great things, and the app inspired me and many others to try to be better at photography. For a lot of us, that meant just using overly processed filters or finding out how far to the right we could pull that clarity slider. But we figured it out. We got better. We learned how to take photos. We learned how to compose things. We were easily finding really talented professional and amateur photographers on the network, and we were creating these just incredible feeds of photos where I knew every time I opened the app I was going to feel better. That's not a normal thing for any sort of social media, right? Like when you open the Twitter app or Facebook app today, do you feel like, oh, I'm going to feel great about myself after I do this? It's a bit of a toss-up and you're probably not going to feel great. But with Instagram in the old days would absolutely do that. I would feel better every single time after I used the app. But then apps like Snapchat and TikTok came along and started to eat Instagram's lunch. They were stealing engagement away from the app. And because Instagram needed to keep growing, needed to be big, needed to be a big part of the Facebook brand, it had to grow with it and it had to chase those apps. And those apps were not focused on photography, not on professional photographers by any means. They're doing totally different things. They're doing things that are more real, less edited, more just raw, just fun things that may disappear in 24 hours or something like that. Like, they're doing very different things from Instagram, and Instagram felt the need to chase them because they were, again, stealing engagement away from their users. And recently, the head of Instagram specifically said the app is no longer focused on photography.
And I want to start by saying we're no longer a photo sharing app or a Square photo sharing app.
It's not focused on photo sharing like it was in the early days. And that's plain to see when you open the app. You're going to see more videos. You're going to see more ads. You're going to see more stories, more just sorts of content that aren't necessarily what people loved about Instagram in the early days. And so there's room for apps to come in and kind of eat Instagram's lunch now, right? So Instagram is chasing the TikToks and the Snapchats of the world. So there's room for others to come in and try to appeal to the people who feel like Instagram isn't doing what they want anymore. And so there have been a number of these, and I haven't really talked about all of them, but Glass is one that's really stood out to me. And I want to talk about it today because I think that it's doing things better than most. I don't know if it's going to stick around for the long haul. I don't know if I'm going to use it for the long haul, but right now it's the one that definitely feels like the best Instagram alternative for someone like me who loved the early days of Instagram, where you could find really creative people, follow them, get a feed that was really tuned to what you like. I'm really excited about this app, and so here's like a dozen or so things about it that you should know. The first thing you should know is this is a photo sharing app for the iPhone, so you can share a single photo. There's no photo sets, there's no videos. You just leave a description on the photo, and then the app will automatically add the EXIF data from your camera so people can see what you shot it with, what settings you used, and all that, but that is it. Now, this is currently only available on the iPhone. It sounds like Android and web versions are coming soon-ish, hopefully, but those are not available today. Also, this is not free. This is a premium service. It is $5 a month or $50 a year, or during the kind of launch window, however long that lasts, I'm not quite sure. The yearly plan is going to cost you $30. Full disclosure, the $30 plan is what I am currently enrolled in. In terms of a feed, this gives you a reverse chronological feed, which is exactly what Instagram used to do. There's no ads, there's no suggested things in your feed. It's just a feed of people who you follow posting pictures. Kind of related, there are no metrics in the app. I have no idea how many people see my photos. I have no idea how many people like my photos. I don't even know how many people follow me. I can see a list of people who follow me and I can manually count them, but the app doesn't tell me that. There's really no vanity metrics in Glass. And as a user, I can't even like a photo. The only interaction you can have with a photo is to comment on it, which is interesting and kind of increases the friction in interaction, but it does make it so that I personally have felt like, ooh, I like this photo. I want to tell the person I like this photo. And on something like Instagram or Twitter, I just would have hit the heart icon. But this, I need to think of something to say, think of something interesting to ask them or tell them about it. Like I could look at the EXIF data and ask them a question about the camera they used or the settings they used. Or I could just kind of ask them something about the photo, the story behind the photo. It's definitely higher friction, and a lot of people aren't going to want to do that. But for me, it's been really cool to kind of have to think of a more interesting way to tell someone I like their photo than just clicking a little heart. Now, that's not to say you can't have any idea what's going on your account. There is a notifications tab in the app that'll show you who's following you, what comments people are leaving. You can easily kind of jump back to those comments and leave replies to them to get a conversation going. It's really, really nice. Not super detailed. You can't break it down by like, just show me my comments or just show me my follows or like, give me a summary of the day. Like, it doesn't do any of that, but it is kind of just a really basic way to keep track of what's going on. And for me, it's been totally manageable so far. Now, one thing that might throw photographers off from years of Instagram is that there is no support for hashtags. You just leave a description and you don't put any hashtags. There's no support for it. There's no way to use them. I think on the one hand, that's pretty cool because on Instagram, you really feel like you have to post like 30 hashtags or whatever the limit is on every photo to make sure that somebody sees what you're posting. With Glass, you can't do that. I do think it would be nice if there was some way to indicate like what category your photo fell into. Like, is this a dog picture? Is this a sunset? Is this, street photography? Like, it would be nice if you could have like one category or something to your photos. Maybe that'll come in a future update. But right now, you literally just post the photo and a description. There's no search for words. There's no anything like that. So you really... It's kind of weird, but people seem to be following each other, finding each other right now. So that at least is a thing that's happening. But yeah, I think this will evolve over time. Now, if you are looking for people to follow, there is a tab in the app for just a list of people. It looks like these are a list of people that the app makers think are interesting. It doesn't appear to be algorithmic or anything based on what you're following right now. But yeah, you can find people there. You'll kind of like tap into them, see who they're following, see who's following them. You can find more people. So it is really more kind of like this manual thing that used to be a thing with social media that hasn't really become a thing once people algorithmatized everything. But it's definitely a way to find people. And I have a lot of people in my feed. So I have a healthy feed going where I'm following dozens of people already. It's really, really cool. Now, the app in general, I think, looks really nice. I like that the feed doesn't crop your photos, so you can see everything all at once. When you tap into them, everything animates nicely. It's just a nice looking app. I do think that they could improve the accessibility a little bit. I think that some of the things that I like tap something once, nothing happens, I tap it again, and then it does the thing. There's a little bit of weird stuff like that, but in general, it's in really good shape and is a joy to use in general, which is great for a photo sharing app that's supposed to make you just feel good. It doesn't feel good when you're fighting the app, and Glass doesn't make you feel like you're doing that. And finally, this is invite only right now, so you do have to know someone who's using the app already to get in. Every user gets 3 invites, so if you know someone, see if they have an invite. I don't. I've already used all 3 of mine, unfortunately, so I can't help anyone right now. But yeah, if you ask on Twitter, you can probably find someone who's in and get yourself in. But yeah, that is it for today. That's an overview of Glass, a bunch of things you need to know about using the app. Hopefully gives you an idea for what it's like. If you don't have an invite, just wanted to see what people are talking about. Hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, leave a comment down below. Let me know what your username is. I'll try to follow some people who follow this YouTube channel. I'd love to get some more great photographers in my feed in the app. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you here next time. Bye-bye.